Alright, what is good everybody? So in today's video, we're gonna do something different. Now one of my favorite things to do when making these videos is actually color grading them. So I'm gonna show you guys how I color grade all my videos using a powerful tool called Dehancer for Final Cut Pro. And this is a software that I use to get my footage looking from this to this. And quick disclaimer, I don't claim to be a professional colorist by any means. I just like to go for that filmic look and just overall try to create like a unique look on all my videos. And so in this video, I'm gonna bring you guys along and we're gonna color grade some of my clips together while using the Dehancer software. And just to show you guys in general how I integrate this plugin into my workflow. Now the kind folks at Dehancer let me use their software free of charge, and they don't have any control on anything I say in this video. So that's why I'm here to share you guys my honest opinion and just my overall thoughts of what I think about their software. So essentially, Dehancer is a plugin that you can use in your editing software like DaVinci Resolve, Adobe Premiere Pro, and also Final Cut Pro to really help create that filmic look on all your videos. With over 60 film stocks to choose from to really help achieve that film look that you're going for. Now my first introduction to Dehancer was through Valandis. He is a photographer slash filmmaker and YouTuber from Detroit, Michigan, and I've been watching his videos before I even started making videos on YouTube. I was always fascinated in how he color grades his videos and how it carries its own unique look. And in one of his videos, he also shared that he used the Dehancer plugin to get those film characteristics like the halation and also the film grain. And so that's how I got to know about the Dehancer plugin. And if you're interested in getting Dehancer for Final Cut Pro, you can use my promo code PARTY to get 10% off. And for you guys that are interested in the gear that I use for my videos, so the camera that I shoot on is the Sony a7 IV, and the lens that I use for my videos is the 16-35 Power Zoom f.4. So I'm able to shoot pretty wide for those on-feed portions that you always see on all my videos. And I'm also able to zoom a little bit as well for those small detail shots. So now we're gonna dive into Final Cut Pro, and I'm gonna show you guys how I color grade some of my clips using the Dehancer plugin. Alright, so now we're inside Final Cut Pro. And so I have these 4 clips open in my timeline, and we're gonna color grade all these 4 clips together. Now as you can see, the first clip is outside in daylight situation. The second one is also outside. It's a little bit darker, but that's because it was close to golden hour. Now you have the third one is also outside with me in it. And then you have the last one. You guys probably recognize this shot. This is the shot that I always use on all my on-feed portions on all my videos. Now as you can see, all these clips are very gray and flat. That's because I shot it on S-Log3 with my Sony a7 IV. And so what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna grab an adjustment layer. So now we're gonna go over to the effects tab and go to film emulation. And here you have the Dehancer plugin. You wanna drag and drop it onto the adjustment layer. And as you can see, straight off the bat, it does look really bad, but that is because it is set to the default settings. And if you wanna start off from scratch, you have to turn off some tools like the film right here. I think you have to check like four boxes, this one, and this one. So right now you can start from scratch. Of course, the first thing you have to do is convert the log footage to Rec 709 color space. So if you go to the Dehancer plugin right here, that's the first thing that you're gonna do. So source, you choose camera, and with vendor, I shot this with the Sony a7 IV, so the vendor is gonna be Sony. Camera is going to be Sony a7 IV, and the format is going to be ISO 800. Now as you can see, this is basically what it looks like if you shoot it straight from the camera. Now this already looks pretty good, but we're going to make it look way better with the Dehancer plugin. Okay, so first off, the image does look a little bit overexposed, so I'm going to put the exposure a little bit more down with the slider, like right around, I'm probably going to put it right around here. And you can also adjust the temperature just in case you messed up the white balance while shooting, but I'm just gonna leave it at 0. You can adjust the tint, And you can also, there are a lot of tools in here that I don't know exactly what it does to your image, like the defringe. So for right now, I'm just gonna leave this alone. And this is where the magic happens. There are a lot of different film stocks that you can choose from. Like if you enable it right here, you can check all of them. You have the Fuji color, you have the Cinestill 800T, a lot of different film stocks you can choose from. So my favorite ones are the Kodak Vision 3, so the 200T, 250D, 500T, and the 50D. Those four are my favorite out of the whole bunch. So we're just gonna see which one looks the best with this image. Let me see. It's probably gonna be, probably gonna be the 500T. And you can also push and pull the film stock to whatever you like. So I think I'm gonna pull it all the way right there. And looking at the overall image, it does lack a bit of color. So I'm just gonna boost the saturation. You wanna go to Film Developer right here, enable it, and you go to Color Boost slider, and you wanna go all the way up. And then you just gradually go down until you find the look that you like. So usually I leave it like around 50 right here. That looks pretty good. So this what it looks like without it, and this with the color. So this looks pretty good. And then you go to film compression right here. So what film compression does, it does lower the highlights. It does bring back more detail into the shot. Like for instance with the sky, if I turn this on right here, it goes from white, if I turn it off, so more blue. And you can also see on the road, it brings back more detail. I turn it off, turn it back on. This looks way better. And I also want to add more contrast to the whole shot. So I'm just going to adjust the black point right here. I'm going to park it right around 5 right here. So if I turn it off, this without the black point, this with the black point, has a little bit more contrast to the whole shot. Looks way better. And then you also have print film that you could choose from. So if I turn it off, I usually choose the last one, which is the Kodak Endura glossy paper. As you can see, you also have the other ones, but I think the other ones are a little bit too harsh. And I think the last one gives it more like a natural look. So I like this look right here. But as you can see, it does bring down exposure a little bit when I turn this on. So I'm just going to play with exposure, turn this a little bit up. Probably put this around 30 right here. This is pretty good. So this without it, and this turned on. I'm just gonna add some film grain. So if I enable it, you can see this adds a lot of film grain, but I just like the subtle look. So what I do is I change the film time from negative to positive. You see? So when I turn it on, turn it off, and I turn it back on, it's a slight change, but it looks really good. So now we're gonna go to halation. So what the halation does, it gives like a red glow around the highlights. So if I turn it off, you probably won't notice any difference. But if I play with the local diffusion, if I turn it all the way up, you'll see the red glow around the highlights. It's a little bit too much right now, so I'm just gonna gradually pull this a little bit more down. Probably just park it around like around 30. This is good. So if I turn it off and I turn it back on, it looks way better. It gives more character to the whole shot. And then you have the tool bloom, and what bloom does, it gives like a nice glow around the image, around the highlights. So if I turn it on, now this is a little bit too much, a little bit extreme if I turn it on. So what you want to do, you want to play with the amplify slider, and you want to turn this a little bit more down. I want to put this to like probably like 20. 20 is good. So if I turn it off and I turn it back on, and I'm pretty much satisfied with this image right here. Now you have some other tools like the vignette. I'm not going to use the vignette on this one. You also have some tools like film breath and gate weave. Now I don't know what that does to the image yet, but so I'm just going to leave that. I'm just going to leave that alone for right now. So now we're going to move on to the next clip. So rather than starting from scratch, I'm just going to copy and paste the effects from the previous clip onto the next one, as so. As you can see, it already looks pretty good straight off the bat, but I am going to choose a different film stock for every single clip right here. So let me choose a different film stock right now. You can just play with all these different film stocks that they have. Let me see, maybe Cinestill 800T. See, this looks pretty good. Let me see if I can push and pull this. If I push it all the way, you can see it's way too magenta. If I put it to the middle and to the right, yeah, to the right looks way warmer. I like this look, and I'm just gonna leave it like that. I am gonna brighten up the image a little bit and put up the exposure right here. Put it to 0. Yeah, this looks way better. I think the bloom was a little bit too much, so I'm just gonna bring it down a little bit. Let me see the bloom. Amplify it's on 20. So I'm just gonna put it at like around 10 maybe. Yeah, 10's good. Let me see. Let me see without the bloom. Where is it? Let me see without the bloom. And with it, see, that looks pretty good. So I'm pretty much done with this image. You don't have to do too much. So when you have a look that you created with Dehancer, you can pretty much copy and paste it to your next project. And you probably only have to adjust like the exposure or the white balance if needed. Now moving on to the next clip, let me just copy and paste this one. So now we're gonna choose a different film stock, but you can see already this is way too bright, it's overexposed. So I'm just gonna bring down exposure right here. Let me put this. Yeah, this is good. Brought down exposure a little bit. Let me put a different film stock. Let me see. Let me see what works. Maybe if I use Kodak Gold 200. See, this looks already pretty good. Yeah, I like this film stock. Kodak Gold 200. You can see if I can push and pull the film stock. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it to the right, all the way pulled. And let me see, I want to add a little bit more contrast to the whole shot. So I'm gonna go for the black point right here. Pull this up a little bit. I'm gonna leave it at 10. So without the black point, this with the black point, see, it adds a little bit more contrast. And let me see what else. I do want to add more halation because the building in the back does have a red tint to it, so you won't be able to see the halation as much. I'm gonna bring up the halation right now. So if I turn it all the way up, obviously it's a little bit too much. You want to bring this down probably around, I'm gonna park it right around 40 right here. This looks pretty good, and right now I'm pretty satisfied with this image right now. This looks pretty good. So we're gonna move on to the next one, the last one. Let me copy and paste this one. Right, straight off the bat, it does look too dark and too underexposed. So what we're gonna do now is gonna bump up the exposure like this. And it's still way too dark, but let me see. We're gonna choose another film stock. We're gonna choose one of my favorites again. So we did use the 500C on the first one. So let me see if the 200C, no, 250, 50D. Yeah, this looks pretty good, as you can see. Let me see if I want to push and pull the film stock. I want to push it, pull. Now you see with this, when I showcase these shoes, I do still want to showcase the accurate colors on these shoes because I don't want to tweak too much with the colors. Like for instance, if I show a shoe that's blue, I don't want to make the blue seem like it's teal or like it's a light blue. I still want to showcase the accurate colors, so I don't want to tweak too much. So therefore, if I pull the image, it looks a little bit too warm. But if I pull it all the way to the left, you see it gives more like a natural look. So it looks way better like this. But I'm not done yet. I still want to add a little bit more contrast to this shoe. So we're just going to go to the black point right here. And I'm going to push this at 12. And then overall, like my legs and my arms a little bit too dark. So I want to brighten this up. So I'm going to go, let me see the white point. Set this at 95. I want to go to the film print and then boost up the exposure. You see what it does? It lightens up my legs and my arms. Gonna park this around right here. It's pretty good. And then let me see what else. What else I can do? Now this is pretty good. I'll probably leave it at this. Let me see. I'm sorry. I'm probably gonna leave it at this. This looks pretty good right now. So yeah, now we're basically done with the last clip. So we basically color graded all these clips together using Dehancer Pro. So yeah, I'm really satisfied with how all these clips turned out. Of course, you can tweak it much more, but I just wanted to give it like a more simple look. So with just a few clicks with the Dehancer plugin, you can achieve the same look as you see right here. So that's basically how I grade all my videos. I still have a lot to learn when it comes to all these tools, but this is a great tool that I will continue to use on all my videos moving forward. So if you're interested in Dehancer, it is available for DaVinci Resolve, Adobe Premiere Pro, and also Final Cut Pro. And so there are 4 plans that are available for Final Cut Pro. Now for 3 months you pay $149, for 6 months you pay $199, for a year you pay $299, and for a lifetime license it'll be $399. So yeah, for me this plugin is an essential in my workflow. I think it's way better than using LUTs. You know, LUTs don't work with every footage, but with this plugin you could basically tweak it however you like it, and with over 60 film stocks to choose from, you can really create that look that you're going for. So yeah, I definitely recommend this plugin to any filmmakers or video editors out there. And again, if you're interested in Dehancer for Final Cut Pro, you can use my promo code PARTY to get 10% off. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and just me being a bit transparent in how I go about making these videos. And if you guys want to see something else on this channel other than me showing sneakers, feel free to drop a comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. I'm out.